Do a couple claps to sync it. Is your phone going too? We'll make it easy to sync. All right, my guy.
All right.
Introduce yourself.
Rick Loyd. Been in the area about 7 years now. Been in this gym, 4 years? About 4 years now, straight. Yeah. What's up, Chris?
What's up, man? So tell me a little bit, you can go back as far as you want. We've got a podcast going. So tell me how you got into the fitness arena, fitness world, or whether it be early on in age or a little bit later in your life.
It's hard to pinpoint, man. Fitness, like,
and it can be general, and you can take us through till.
Yeah, I remember being a little kid, just obsessed with like the Hulk, wrestling. I mean, I don't think I knew that they worked out and did stuff, but I always liked to be active. I mean, I had like a little dumbbell as a kid. I would do crazy stuff like little backwards wall walks down my little single wide trailer in my bedroom. Just weird stuff because I didn't have anyone in my family that was really like into fitness or working out or even taking care of themselves, really. So it was that's kind of probably how it started, and then got into sports as I got in middle school. And then from middle school through, graduating high school, basketball was probably like my passion. Like I just stayed active 24/7. Basketball was on my mind. I mean, I played baseball, basketball, soccer all through school, but I didn't even work out really, lift weights, anything through school. I didn't really get into gym or working out until right after high school.
Where did you go to high school?
North Christian, little private school. They made sports team while I was there.
Okay.
When I was in middle school, we didn't have teams. I was in middle school playing varsity.
Oh wow.
Because we didn't have teams. Like we had barely enough people to make a team.
Gee, how many people were in like this graduating class?
My graduating class,
yeah.
I want to say it was mid-20s maybe, and some of those were people who graduated early, like a year early.
Yeah.
They weren't even actually in my class.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, the whole school at one time at its biggest, I want to say it was like 600-700 people from kindergarten through.
Okay.
But when I first got in, it was like a couple hundred. It wasn't a big school at all. Like I want to say when I started there, they only had like up to 9th grade, and they added a grade every year.
Okay. Is it still is that school still up and running or what?
Not so sure.
Okay.
Like last I heard, it had dwindled down to like 30 people.
Uh-huh.
And I know they sold the building recently to like the some entertainment company in North.
Is that a private school? I guess.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, because it's a Christ school or whatever. So interesting. So you had sports there, and it seemed to be almost, I wouldn't say recreation, but
we didn't win a game for like 3-4 years.
Yeah. And how was that?
How did win a game in any sport?
Yeah.
Across any team. It was. I mean, it was humbling.
Yeah, tell me about that school experience though, because it must have been, obviously sports wasn't the big draw there. What was it that drew your parents to, I guess, put you in that school or to take you?
I think they were involved in that church at the time, and then my mom wanted to help out, like being an assistant teacher or teacher's assistant, and then she ended up becoming a kindergarten teacher or preschool teacher, and so I was along for the ride.
Yeah.
That's how I kind of got in there, yeah.
Yeah, so you're in high school, you're big into sports, and sports is a big part of your life. So how is it, I guess you guys didn't lift weights or work out there, but you obviously came back to working out somehow, some way along
my high school coach for basketball and baseball was I think he called himself a power lifter, but he mostly bench pressed. That was it.
Okay, yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like he was on a powerlifting team, but he was a bench press specialist, which is probably why I am the way I am now, because we worked out like 4 days a week. Okay. But it was like bench on Mondays, triceps on Tuesdays, shrugs on Thursdays, little biceps and more bench on Fridays. It was real basic, but it was all upper body. Like we never squatted, never deadlifted. That was pretty much it. You'd hit a little bit of back, a little bit of biceps, chest twice a week, stuff like that.
Yeah. What did you like about that? I mean, because it obviously it worked.
I don't know, man. We were like in the dungeon, man. We were in a downstairs basement. That whole gym was probably the size of both of these racks. Like it wasn't. That was the high school gym.
How many people were coming to this?
Not a lot, man.
Okay.
A handful.
Like 5 people, maybe.
Yeah. People who just parents didn't pick them up after school.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like they didn't have anything else to do.
Yeah.
So they're like, I guess I'll go work out a little bit, and they come down there, do their half squats, and go home for the day. But I don't know. I kind of like hit it off. It was mostly me and my coach at the time. Most days it was just us, and just learning the camaraderie, seeing the progress. You know, because back then, I mean, I was, you know, when you're a newbie, you're making those newbie gains, it became addictive. And then I think right after that, when he kind of moved on, got another job, uh, I wanted to continue working out. So I had like little stuff at home, but I didn't have a bench or anything like that. My dad can weld, do all this stuff. You know, he's a jack of all trades. So we ended up making a bench. We went and bought the iron, welded it together. All my friends would come over. I mean, I had a handful of friends that lived right in the neighborhood. We'd come over, and of course, we did all upper body stuff.
Right.
And just hung out. I mean, and that's kind of, I worked out in the garage gym pretty much till I came here.
Oh, and
My
so
house,
you came
yeah.
in here. And
Yeah.
when was it you started incorporating all the other things like your rows or your squats or your deads or
I probably didn't do squats until 2016, 2017, or deadlifts.
man?
Didn't even know that powerlifting existed.
Right.
They
Right.
just kind of got in, you know, started reading and more research, and I was like, oh,
So
that's
the,
fun.
the internet kind of helped you
Oh,
out, figure
for sure.
out
Yeah.
all of this
For
extra
sure.
stuff.
Yeah.
And this is 2016.
I would say around, yeah.
And where are you now? Are you still? You're not in the North Carolina area anymore.
No,
are you?
North Carolina,
You
yeah.
still are.
working out at a garage gym.
Okay.
Yeah. I was working, a friend of mine, young kid. I mean, he's a friend of mine still, but he started, he was a new employee where I was working. He wanted to learn about lifting, and he called himself skinny fat. He was an athlete, but he never really worked out either. And he went to the public high school, but he wasn't into the gym and all that stuff. He just wanted to play baseball.
Right.
So he came to work out with me, and then for a couple of years, it was just me and him. And that's kind of how I got more into squats. Like, man, we should try some of these squats and deadlift things. What do you think about that?
Yeah.
And just went from there, man. And it was 2018. I think I did my first powerlifting competition at another gym that's no longer a gym in Butner.
Yeah.
Yeah. That was my first introduction into powerlifting. That's just because I got pressured into that. Like, had a friend, Rob, you know.
A strong ox.
Yeah, doing CrossFit now.
Yeah.
But that dude got me into powerlifting and then quit and did CrossFit. I don't understand it, but but yeah, that's kind of how I got into it, man. I didn't even start training for that until, you know, halfway through 2017.
Yeah.
And that's kind of how I got stuck, just fell in love with it. I don't know.
Yeah, and just one thing's fell another, and you're super into it. I'm not going to say you weren't super into it before, but you're obviously into it enough to where you're motivating other people. You have a lot of people in your circle that work out. So you're very passionate about it, and it obviously shows on you, and other people seem to get magnetized by that.
Yeah.
Well, and I guess that comes back to your you like the camaraderie of everything, right? That's the big draw for you.
Yeah.
And
well, I mean, don't get me wrong. I did work out in my garage gym for years without anybody.
By yourself. Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, to a point, you can only do so well. You don't have a spotter.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, you have things that you want to do, but yeah, it's hard to go out when it's in the garage, especially. It's easy to go in and sit on the couch, turn the TV on when you get home from work, and don't, you know, you never even go out there.
Yeah.
And so yeah, the camaraderie. But powerlifting, I don't know if I'd even say I'm passionate about it.
Okay.
I'm passionate about just challenging yourself. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Like when I did the bodybuilding thing, couldn't care less about bodybuilding.
Yeah.
But once I got into it, I want to be the best at it. I want to practice it every day. I want to live it.
Yeah.
Just to see how good I could be at it.
Yeah.
And actually, I'd say Justin, I give him credit for getting me back into powerlifting, because I thought I was done with it, man. I had a hernia, and I was thinking, maybe I should just take it easy. I like having a six-pack and looking good for a while, you know. Why not just come in here, you know, challenge myself with reps, you know, stuff like that. And then Justin was like, man, I like to do a powerlifting. Because, yeah, I do try to talk everybody into a powerlifting show. Mm-hmm. I will give you that. I am in here as soon as I meet somebody. If I see you deadlifting, never met you before, I'm going to say, hey, you thought about powerlifting?
Yeah.
Because, yeah, I think people should challenge themselves, have a goal. You know, we talked about that recently. Everybody should have a goal. Because if not, you're just in here spinning your wheels.
Yeah,
I think so.
Yes.
Yeah. I mean, one of my favorite things I've noticed recently in the gym is people who get on this seated lat pull.
Yes.
And they just got this look on their face. Like it's just Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. They're just in here, no passion. They're not struggling. They're just doing their 3 sets of 10, get out the gym.
Yes.
And for some reason, that irks me. You know what I mean?
Yes, I do know what you mean.
I just want to get the fuck off the machine. For real. And I mean, I come very close a lot of times.
Yeah.
And I'm probably say fuck a lot on this.
Oh, that's okay.
That's okay.
Yeah, yeah, that's okay.
But yeah, I mean, it's just. But Justin was like real passionate about it. And he's like, yeah, I mean, because I would joke with him all the time. Because he was a bodybuilder. Like that was his training for a while. I was like, man, you should try powerlifting.
Uh-huh.
Because I think it's just that bodybuilding, powerlifting kind of head-to-head thing too. You know, we kind of joke on each other a lot. It's a different style of training. And he was like, "Yeah, I'll do it." And then I was like, "Man, I kind of got suckered into, well, yeah, I'll help train. Then I want to do one."
Yeah.
And now here we are.
Yeah. So you got into powerlifting in Butner. You said you got kind of peer pressured into that
Yeah.
at first.
Well, I never thought I would compete.
Or yeah. So, what was that first experience like versus, you've done it plenty of times now, but
Yeah.
what's some challenges maybe that people, like that person that's doing that low row, like maybe talk to them and tell them why that powerlifting meet isn't such a scary thing to do, right?
Oh man, you can ask Brooke.
Right.
I would. She kept talking about I want to sign up, and I would say, shut the fuck up and just sign up.
Yeah.
That's what you got to do because nobody thinks they can compete, right? I mean, when you think about people who have probably been doing powerlifting since they were kids, I mean, those people are out there, or just genetic freaks who are going to come in there and they're going to have a 16, 1800 total. Just they're freaks,
Right.
and so everybody's scared they're not going to be able to be competitive. But locally, I'd say 85% of those people that show up are just normal people you see in this gym every day that just want to compete, have fun, have a goal,
Right.
have that 4-month program where they train, have a goal. Now we're going to go have fun, you know?
Yes.
And so that's why I say just sign up, man. And the camaraderie, nobody's in there talking trash to each other. Everybody accepts you. Man, I've been to powerlifting meets. People just strike up a conversation, offer you food, offer you a chair. What are you doing? What are y'all doing after this? You know, it's just, and young to old. I mean, it just spans everybody. So
Yeah.
it's a great group.
Yeah. I think people get too caught up into their own BS with the powerlifting. They're like, oh, what if I can't get this, or what if I don't do that, or what if I'm weak? Honestly, nobody really cares what your numbers are. They just want to see you in there having a good time and chasing after those goals.
Yeah.
Having a verve about you. And it's electric in that backstage because everybody's a little anxious, everybody's a little nervous, but you've been training for 12, 16, 8 weeks, whatever. And this is your payoff. So now it's time to have fun. And people think of it so much competitively. They think about them versus everybody else instead of them versus themselves.
And I get that too. Aren't you competitive?
I am, yes.
Like, so when I go to a meet, I do say, and I go back and forth with that on my own all the time, even now.
Right.
Like I said, I was going to treat this meet coming up in December just kind of like a tune-up. I want to do one in the spring. I had some injuries, you know, got to try to get shredded for the summer, lost a lot of strength. So this is going to be like a tune-up. But as it gets closer, I want to murder everybody.
Right.
I want to go in here, and I don't care what weight you are. I want to leave out there and be like, hey, man, great job.
Well, that is the mindset you have to have if you are going to be good at it. That's the mindset you have to have. Now, even though you can only control what you can control.
Right.
Like, your numbers going in. If somebody's in there, bench pressing 600 pounds, there's just nothing you can do about that. But if you come in the gym every day, you're like, I'm going to murder my competition, and you have that kind of workout day after day after day, you're going to be the best version of yourself when it comes to that. So, and that's generally all that matters. Right. But you have to have that mindset kind of like ticking behind.
Agreed. Yeah. But did you beat your numbers from last meet, or did you PR what you did in up to this?
Right.
Yeah. So that should be the goal.
Right.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, your mindset should be that way.
And going back to the goal situation thing, it's such a hard thing for people to commit to.
Yeah.
I don't understand why the lack of commitment, but it just is. I don't know if it's.
I understand to a point.
I mean, I do too, but
yeah, people have life and
they have kids and they have baseball games or they have whatever, and it's like maybe they just come for the mental health. But going back to your point, you have to have a goal or something shooting for if you're going to progress in this. You just do.
Yeah. And I tell people sometimes you have to be a little bit of an asshole. You got to be selfish. Like if you don't make this your priority, then all those other things are going to come into play. You're going to want, I want to be good at it. You're never going to be good at it. Mm-hmm. You come in here 2 days a week, you're never going to be good at it. Don't be mad at it. If that's what you want and you're happy with that, that's great. But if you want to be good at something, you got to give it time. Yeah, because I mean, I had it. Melissa's in here now all the time, and I was just telling somebody this story with her yesterday. A guy in the gym, because he was telling me how he's been out of the gym for years, just getting back into it. He had so many other things. I said, I understand. I said, my wife had a hard time since I've been here. I really committed since I've been here. I'm in here at least 4 days a week, most every day, most every week. And it would be like, well, we have a family function. We got dinner at this time. No, you got dinner at 5 o'clock. I'll be there after the gym. Like
Yeah.
if it's my training day, unless I can move something. If I'm training 4 days a week and I can move something to an off day on Wednesday or a weekend, I'll try to move it. But if it's something I can come to later, I'm getting my training day in because that's what I'm here for.
Right.
That's my priority. But I'm also older. My kids are mostly grown. It's easy for me to say that now.
Yeah. Also, let's, like, for example, let's say your mother wants to hang out on Monday, and then she also wants to hang out Saturday too. At what point is your training going to take?
Mom's gonna have to come to the gym.
Right.
Mom can sit over here with that look on her face. We were talking about and do some lat pulls.
Right.
She can do her 3 sets of 10 while I'm working out.
Right. There's a line where it's kind of like, all right, you have to sacrifice a little bit of this to get what you want over here. And not seeing your mom, dwindle it down to 1 day a week instead of 2 days a week, is that really the end of the world? You know what I mean?
Right. But to me, like we were talking about the mental health aspect, if I miss that day or I can't do for 2 or 3 days and I'm with those people then because that's what my priority was, in the back of my mind, I'm still thinking, fuck, you missed a training day.
Right.
What are you doing? And what's the priority? But if I hit that training day and I see them an hour later than I normally would have, I'm a better person. You know what I mean?
I can't make the birthday party right at 4 o'clock. I'm there at 4:30.
Yeah. But I'm there with better mental health, clarity, feeling great about myself, giving myself more to there because I don't have all that stuff in the back of my mind.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, you got to take care of yourself. Put your own oxygen mask on. Plane's going down, right? Because you can't take care of anybody else around you unless you take care of yourself first.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you got a group of people working out with you. You got the powerlifting thing. You got the camaraderie going.
Yeah. Young to old, man.
Yeah. Tell me about that and tell me how they're kind of, progressing, how you're doing on your end. I know you got a little bit of an injury, but talk about that a little bit too. So,
like I said, it started with Justin, man. Justin was excited to do one. And man, you've seen this progression, right? Like he just recently did a triple for what it was his PR like 4 or 5 weeks ago.
Was it on squats?
Yeah. But everything, his bench has come up. Deadlift is kind of, it's up a little bit, but it's not up as where we wanted it to be. But he was telling me his goals for the meet coming up just recently, and we're on pace. I mean, I think we're going to hit mid-9s maybe his meet. I mean, I ain't gonna try to put the pressure on you, Justin, but hit mid-9s. But but he's in here. He's putting the work in all the time. He has questions. He listens. I mean, correcting his form, everything, and he loves to learn that. And so that makes it easy, man. You can work with people like that all day long. Makes you feel like you're doing something, right? You know what I'm saying? It's a payoff coming back, immediate, reciprocal. He's giving me energy, I'm giving him energy. And I tell him when he's full of shit also. I can't do this, or I don't feel like I can do it. Yeah. And get in here and do it. Quit sandbagging.
And the great thing about some people is they can take that and it don't fold them over and they walk out of the gym with their tail tucked between their legs. Some people, like, they can take it. And that's a skill too.
Yeah. Oh, one of my favorite things I love about the camaraderie is I'm a sarcastic, in your face type of person. I'm a different person in the gym than I am at home. Okay. I'm normally very reserved, very quiet. I don't like people. Right. In general, I just don't like them. Yeah. But in the gym, like you said, I'm passionate about it, and I am going to tell you how it is, and I am going to poke fun at you, whether it's real or not, to try to push you a little bit. Get you past your comfort zone. And Justin takes that well. Like, he laughs. I don't take anything seriously. I can't tell you when I'm joking and serious. Mm-hmm. And that's part of it, though. Like, let's get in here. Let's talk trash to each other. Let's push each other a little bit. I'm not saying everybody needs that. Like you said, some people probably not good with that. No. Then we're not working out together. Right. You know what I'm saying? I'm not for you.
And that's a great ability to have, as somebody who, I guess, is in gym business and personal trains people as business. You can only be so... Yeah. You can't, you're not going to get that star client like a Justin who comes in here, he's goal-oriented, he's motivated, he's inspired, he takes the tongue lashing well, and he still shows up the next day better. Yeah. That is such a rare thing.
Oh, he gives it back too.
Yeah, you know what I mean? No, but I'm just talking about the motivated... Yeah. Do you think so, or do you not think so? Or do you think that not just talking about him, but people like general, that are just have super verve about life, that are just shooting up, like their potential is they're just... Because
they don't let the little things bother them. You should know if I'm telling you something like that, the way I'm telling you shouldn't matter.
Even just coming in with a good mood, ready to work out. Yeah. Don't you think that's a little bit rare, or do you think I'm...
No, that is really rare. Yeah. That's what I'm saying. That's the look on these people's faces. Most of the time, they're just here just...
Yeah.
Like it's their job. Like they're punched a clock to get in here, and somebody's making them stay here. So yeah, showing up with some exuberance and showing that you want to be passionate about it, or man, enthusiasm in any part of life. You know what I'm saying? It's great. Um, that's the inside joke too, by the way. But yeah, I mean Justin and even Todd, we got him and Scott. Todd likes that type of stuff too. We talk, Todd's a trash talker.
Yeah,
and he puts the work in.
And Todd's, they're both coming in here. They're both doing squats, doing the deads, doing the whatevers, and sometimes the benefit is some people maybe they wouldn't have done squats today, and you made them do 5 sets of 5, or whatever.
Yeah,
70%. I don't know.
We're doing a lot of volume.
Yeah.
We're squatting 3 and 4 days a week, benching.
And how many times are people doing that in general? And the fact that you're just getting people in here doing that is it's a good thing. You know what I mean? It's so much better, because sometimes it's about being better than you were, and sometimes like some people are already this, and some people are this, and if you can get them to move up 2 inches this way, hell yeah,
that's progress.
You know what I mean? That's still progress, because just like you or me or whatever, you started off doing bench press every day. You know what I mean? Yeah. It took that to get you to where you are now today. Yeah. So that's inspiring, that you can have the patience and the time and the energy, because you put that in being the leader of the group as well. That's inspiring in itself too. You know what I mean?
Yeah, appreciate that.
Yeah, for sure. So, you got your wife in here working out too?
Oh, she's powerlifting.
Yeah. How is that? Having 2 powerlifters around the house. Well, she's been pretty serious with it, but now you got her on
she's on a program.
Yeah.
She just had never. She's not really. She started off more like circuit training when I first met her. She was at the YMCA doing whatever, the little dumbbells and machines, which is great. She was doing something. She looked great. Yeah. She still looks great. And then she got into running for a while. Mm-hmm. But then she come to me one day. She's like, I don't have much of a butt. I want a bigger butt. Like most, that's what everybody wants, right? And I said, well, there's only 2 ways I know. You can squat for it, or you can buy one. I said, that's the only 2 ways I know to get a butt. And so, she had worked out with me a couple years ago and doing squats, and I was pushing her. And maybe I overloaded the bar a little too much, but she maybe she hurt her back a little bit. She pulled a little something, and ever since then she didn't want to work out with me. Okay. And I get it, because I will, I'll try to push you a little bit. And but now she's in here, she's bought into it, and she's loving it. She tells me, she's like, I see where this can be addictive. You're seeing every couple of weeks at least, you're trying a bigger weight or more reps, or you're doing something. And she's like, she's liking it, she's loving it. I think so. Yeah.
One of the best things about like programming I was talking about with Justin last time is just the regimen. Mm-hmm. I think it's just so good for people, because I think we're so habit oriented. Mm-hmm. And I think once we get in a habit and a routine, and it's just like, okay, I got to hit this today, I got to hit this tomorrow, I got to hit this. It's like, I got to go home and do my sleep, because I got SBND tomorrow, whatever. Right. Yeah. It's just such, I don't know, it's just so beneficial. I love.
If it's in the notebook, we got to do it.
I love that. I love that. That's what I put on the board. I have the board over there. If I put it on the board, or just because, I'm just playing on my phone, I don't have a whatever, because
that happens.
It does happen. Yeah, it does.
That's how weekends go by. You're sitting on the couch on Netflix, and you're like, supposed to wash the car, should have done this, should have done that, and I'm sitting here watching Netflix. Well, write some stuff down. Maybe leave a checklist. Set an alarm on your phone. Do something. Yeah, have a plan.
So you got a little growing injury.
I have a little growing injury. Yeah,
tell me about it.
I don't know, man. That mud run messed me up.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm not sure what happened. I was feeling great up until we did a little mud run October 22nd, was it? And I can't pinpoint a thing that happened, man. I felt like a couple times we came down a slide, and I felt like a hit stopped short. I don't know, and jarred my legs a little bit, but nothing where I was like, that's gonna hurt later. And then maybe halfway through that run or something, my groin did get a little tight. But then we hung out afterwards, went to Red Oak. And after I sat down for a little while, man, I went to stand up and walk away, and had to drag my right leg. I couldn't adduct my right leg. And that went on for 3 days. Every time I got in and out the car, I had to pick my leg up and move it in and out the bed. And it's gotten better over time. It's a lot better now, but it's still hard to squat. I did deadlift this week. But last week I didn't squat or deadlift. And the last week before that, I want to say the second half of the week, no squats and deadlift. Which is tough when you got a meet coming up December 10th. So yeah, mentally that kind of weighs on me. But then I don't know, man. I'm competitive, so I think about that all the time. But I also think I'm not a powerlifter. This is not my life. I'm not getting paid to do this shit. You know what I mean? So I still got. I'm happy I can bench. I'm happy I did deadlift this week. I'm happy I can just get in here and do what I enjoy doing. So I get my mind goes back and forth. You know what I'm saying? I get stuck.
Yes.
Like Justin even mentioned to me this week a couple times. He's like, "Where you at? Like you look like you're pissed off about something." And because mentally I get in my head like, "Can't fucking squat. I got a meet in a couple weeks." But then the more I think about it, like, man, just relax. Like life's gonna be fine. This ain't my life.
Right.
I mean, this is what I'm most passionate about.
Right.
But I got other things to do too.
And the good thing is, I know you're not going to take it this way mentally, but this was the tune-up meet for a bigger meet in March.
And that's the plan, yeah.
So, hopefully everything works out for the better. And, even if you do just, not saying you will, but just saying worst comes to worst. If you're just benching dead, you're still progressing towards March.
Yeah.
That's the goal, right?
Oh, I'll go in there and hit a 315 squat.
Yeah.
Just to get on the board,
Yeah, right.
And then do what I can do.
Right, because Justin's in there competing and he's going to do it too. Yeah. And you want to be a part of that. And that'll be good to do.
And we got a bench press competition next weekend.
Yeah.
Little thing in Durham, Big Ben.
Is Shaq doing it?
Told me he is.
Okay.
Better be. Man's been calling me out for months.
Yeah.
So yeah, Shaq better be there.
Yeah. So Ben, Shaq, you, Carol, Teresa, Michelle.
Yeah.
All
yeah.
Right.
It's gonna be a good time.
Yeah. Carol, Michelle, and Teresa, they get after it pretty good, huh?
They've been here every night working on this bench program. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. They're good people.
So, what's kind of your training protocol? Is there anything specific that you try to program, or that any kind of things you like that stick out in Rick Loyd's program every so often? How do you do that, or what kind of tips? Or
man, you know what? I feel like I know what I'm doing, and on my off seasons, I train my own way. I do what I want to do, and I make great progressions, I think. But when it comes down to doing like a 16-week powerlifting thing, I always follow a program. Like okay. I don't really do my own thing. I might tweak it.
Yeah.
Or, I'll come in here and kind of maybe change some exercises, change, the reps or the order of them. Because there's a couple schools of thought, man. Some people have less volume days. I kind of like the killing it, man. I kind of like sticking to the main lifts. Like I said, right now we bench 4 days a week. We only lift 4 days a week. And every day we're benching some type of variation of a bench. It might not be flat bench. We might be doing floor presses. We might be doing closed grip. But it's a bench variation 4 days a week, squats 3 days a week, and deadlifts 3 days a week. And some accessories, but then everything drops off when you get closer to the meet. You got to do you got to find what works for you. We found like floor presses are really helping our bench, things like that. But as bench goes, man, the volume really helps me. Deadlifts, I don't know. I think I kind of starting to feel like deadlifting 3 days a week at 43 years old probably ain't the best for me. You know what I mean? It's kind of a lot of wear and tear on top of squatting 4 days, 3 or 4 days a week.
I got it, yeah.
So I probably will do my own programming for that meet in the spring, just because, I think I need less volume on those things.
One of the things for me, for programming anyway, is some people like to be so structured that from day 1 to week 16, day 5 or whatever, mm-hmm. I kind of like being in the middle. But this is my thought on it. Because if you're so structured, there's no room for play or intuition to chime in. So I kind of like to have an idea of what I like to do, especially like for maybe 4 weeks. And I like to play with that a little bit and see what I like and what I don't like, and then go to the next 4 weeks.
Right.
You know what I mean? Because I don't know what it is about the superstructure. It's just like, it just doesn't click with me. I just can't do it for 16 weeks. It bores me. It's something.
Right.
I don't know what it is, but I just cannot do that.
No, I agree with that. I think
I can't even do it.
Is great. Yeah.
I can't even do it training people. It's like, I just feel like I need to introduce play in there a little bit. You know what I mean?
You gotta have fun. You gotta enjoy what you're doing, or you're not gonna
it becomes so robotic.
Yeah.
And I'm like, all right, I don't want them to be a robot in here. I want them to like live a little.
Yeah.
Because the gym is so monotonous in itself already.
Especially powerlifting.
Oh, I bet. Yeah, with the 3, because you're doing those things
Yeah, that's all you get. 9 attempts with 3 lifts. That's all you're doing. So you got to train those lifts because you want that CNS. That just don't have to think about it. I know what to do. Same bar path. We're doing the same stuff all the time. But you still got to have fun.
And there's something about a squat. It's like you're not going to get the squat until you get in the hole, and you don't feel like you're going to get up, and you got 2 more reps. You know what I mean?
That's the best day.
Oh, that's the best. That's my favorite. Oh, I love squats, man. Squats are the greatest.
Yeah.
I
hate them. No, that's what you see where your heart is.
Squats are the greatest.
Mentally, they're the toughest for me. Yeah.
For sure, because it's, number one, you got to get low enough. People already have a problem with that.
Most everybody.
Yeah, people already have a problem with that. And number two, it's like it feels like the house is on your back.
Yeah.
And you're down there at the bottom, and it's like, your chest is going to fold a little bit because not every rep is going to be perfect. And it's like, are you still going to get the fuck up?
Right.
You know what I mean?
Well, even with bench, you can kind of hold it on you. Hopefully, most times you got a spotter. Deadlifts, you can just drop it. But squats, what you doing?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
you had a spotter.
And something about bench is when you're done, 9 times out of 10 you're done. On squats, it's like you're not done.
Yeah, it's your mind.
Yeah, it's such a mind thing.
Oh yeah, for sure.
God.
Yeah, so that is the biggest reward, I think. Though,
yes.
Squats. That's the biggest payoff mentally. Is, man, I did that.
Yeah.
Because we get all that. Squats are usually your first like main work. Then you get your accessories after. And almost every time when you're done with squats, you're like, Jesus Christ. Yeah, you feel like you already won the day.
Mm-hmm.
Fuck the accessories. I don't even care what I got after this.
Right.
I finished squats.
Right.
Yeah, and that's the best. That's the best.
Go into bodybuilding a little bit because you did that. You did that for a little bit. You said you touched it on it a little bit. So dive a little bit deeper into your experience with that.
That was mentally probably the toughest thing I ever did.
Really?
Yeah.
Why?
Those last 2-3 weeks.
Oh,
you got man, not even cardio. Because I did most of my stuff on elliptical. And I felt like when I was in my little zone on the elliptical, you get your little stride right. I zoned out. I watch my Netflix or whatever, and I'm zoned out, and I get it done. No, the toughest thing was this: I still have to go to work. I got no energy. I got no libido. I don't want to eat. I just want to sit in a hoodie and sweatpants all day when it's 90 degrees outside and sleep because I'm freezing to death. I got no body fat, and I'm thinking I'm not getting paid for this shit. You know what I mean? I'm thinking, why are you doing this to yourself? Like you feel like you just want to die.
Yeah.
And I was like, those last 2 weeks, man, you have like no energy. Like I would think like I gotta go piss. I don't want to get off this couch.
Yeah.
Do I really gotta go? And I mean, it would be like everything was mental. And man, but it changed my life as far as like nutrition is concerned.
Okay, why?
I mean, I got to where when I was powerlifting, man, it's like you got to stay in a weight class.
Right.
I was eating Wendy's twice a day. I didn't give a shit. Yeah. It was hard for me to get to 220.
Right.
But it's hard for me to get below 198. To get in that weight class. So I had no problem staying in the middle, and it could eat whatever I want. And so that's kind of what I did. But when I did the bodybuilding, I mean, as you know, it's very regimented. Your diet is 95% of that.
Yes.
And it made me realize I don't have to eat all I think I need to eat to be a power. Because what's the old powerlifting saying? Mass moves mass. That's what everybody used to think. Powerlifters don't have 6-packs. Lies.
Right.
Because they do.
Yeah.
And you don't have to eat all that bullshit. And so now I do a lot better on my food prep twice a week. Usually Sundays, Wednesdays. I'm food prepping enough for those 3 days, 4 days, whatever, to get through to the next. And just eating better. Like everybody, I always heard people don't want to eat rice. That's a lot of carbs. That's all this. Man, beef, chicken, turkey and rice and veggies. That's pretty much what I eat every day. I eat the same meals.
Even still.
No, yeah. Because it's like, but if I want to go out to eat, you don't have to think about that because 90% of the time I'm eating the same shit that I know I need, and I'm good.
Right.
Yeah.
It's almost like you don't even have to think about it, and that's the beauty of it, in my opinion.
It takes a lot of stress off. Man, how many people walk around? What are we eating for lunch today?
Right.
I ain't got to think about it. I know what I'm eating for lunch today.
Right. It's just
meat,
in the
rice,
refrigerator.
Meat, rice, veggies. That's what I'm eating. Yeah.
Right.
And it's ready to go. So that really, I mean, I had abs at 210. I never had abs in my life, Chris, up until I did bodybuilding. But then once I came back from that, man, my body composition was so much better too. And so it became addictive, man.
And just how you feel too when you eat that stuff.
Yeah.
And I think that's so underrated too. Just how well you feel when you're eating clean. I think people forget about that a lot because they want the Mexican or the the fast food, the easy thing to go. But it's just when you eat that, the bodybuilding type of food or the clean foods, the whole foods, whatever.
More
You just
energy,
feel
clearer
so
thinking.
good.
Yeah,
I mean, you just like you don't feel bogged down. Your stomach isn't. You don't feel like you're about to pop your belt another hole or whatever. I don't know. You just feel so good.
yeah.
And that's why I still do it because, or people like sometimes drinking. Like people like let's say if it's a Thursday night. And
Yeah, let's talk about drinking.
anyways, I'll drink sometimes, but that's why I don't drink avidly because I don't like the way it'll make me feel.
Sluggish the next morning for me, yeah. 43, I'm
or
hard to
even
recover.
like right then, if I drink like 6 beers, whatever, I just feel like I'm so full and I'm so ready to go to sleep, and I'm like, this shit makes me feel like shit.
That's why you have to try wine, Chris.
Yeah, that's why I got that's why I got this Mystic stuff out. I was like, we're gonna take a few shots of that, and then we'll we'll drink the beer.
Yeah, let's do that. Let's talk more about nutrition while we're taking shots.
Hey man.
I'm a big believer in you heard that saying, nobody gets out of this alive, right? You got one life. So I do what I love, and I'm very passionate about it, and I'm very strict most of the time.
Right.
But everything in moderation, even moderation.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
And you do have to have fun sometimes. You know what I mean?
You do. Cheers. I wouldn't even say sometimes. I say all the time.
Yeah, that's true.
When I come in here, I'm having a great time. When I go to work, I'm having a great time. Because I'm going to make my day better. I'm going to make your day better because we're getting through this day together. You know what I mean?
And sometimes when you're like in your serious mode or in the mode where you're locked in, I have people come up to me in the window all the time and they're like, I'm having a great day, Chris. And I know they're subconsciously telling me, like, you seem like you're mad, but I'm not. I'm just serious, and I'm here to work, and I'm excited about, like, just because I'm not like giddy and like.
You get that a lot?
I get that a lot.
Me too.
All the time. I'm like, they're like, it's just another great day, and I'm like, bro, like, I'm literally in the best mood right now.
Yeah.
I'm just serious right now in my computer doing whatever. I'm having a good time. It's just because I'm not giddy or smiling or like bubbly.
No, I've been told many times, people
what?
like, you look unapproachable. Like, you look like you're in the gym hating life, and people, I'm like, no, I'm just thoughtful. I'm thinking about what I'm doing next, what I got coming up. But when I'm talking, like, I'm having a great time.
Right.
But sometimes I'm just thinking.
Right.
Like, people, I guess I get that RBF. Is that
Yes.
Is that a guy thing too? I don't know.
I think so.
Yeah,
I think it
is.
is.
It's a thing.
Well, I think it's like just a serious thing.
Yeah. But I get that all the time too.
And
people say, what army or what military branch you serve in?
Yeah.
Never did. I get that at least 10 times a week. Wherever I go, I could be in a store somewhere and somebody say, thank you for your service. And I said, what are you talking about? Well, you served in the military, didn't you? I said, no, never did. This is the way you talk and you look and you're acting.
Your demeanor.
Your eyes, like,
right.
You look like you've been in the military. I said, no, I just don't like to waste time. I try to be very efficient.
Were you brought up like this, or was this something you kind of like you grew into?
I'd have to say I grew into. I don't know.
Okay. Because the reason I'm like this is because my dad was in the military, right? Okay. And I knew when I was a child, like, if I spilled, there's this funny thing, my sister spilled some of her drink in the kitchen, and my dad would just go berserk, right? Yeah. And it's just because he was so serious, and he, so disciplined, and like, don't spill your drink. Like, what the hell you're doing? Whatever. And I knew, like, from a very early age, like, don't fuck with my dad.
Right.
Like, this is a guy you can't maneuver into doing whatever you want to do.
But how about now?
Oh, he's still like that.
He's still like that?
I would never.
So you don't see him different as like a more laid back person now, or?
Oh, it's just the respect I have. Yeah, right. He's more laid back, but it's just this thing where it's like, if you say something stupid around my dad, like, I get cringy. I'm like,
yeah, he's about to see.
You know what I mean? Yeah.
I feel like my kids would say the same thing. Like my kids have gotten some Southern Baptist preaching to them. Yeah. Like, where I go off on a rant, my wife would be like, what the hell did you say to him? I'm like, I don't even remember. I don't even remember. I just talked for like 20 minutes, and I don't remember what the hell I said. And they probably think, if you ask them, I'm strict, I'm regimented, but also think, like, I wanted the best for them. You know what I'm saying? I kind of wanted to push them too. Like, I try to push people in here. But when they ask me, like, why are you this way? I'm like, I don't get it when they ask me. I'm like, I'm the most laid back person you ever met. Right. I like to have fun all the time. They're like, that's not you.
Right.
Or they'll see me act a way around other people, and they're like, who are you?
Yeah.
Like, well, this is always me. No, that's not you. You're the strict this guy, this guy, this guy. But I think maybe that's a parenting thing. I don't know. That's why I was asking, like,
And
how you
all,
see him now.
oh yeah, I could do a, I'm still, I think,
You're not spilling juice at the house, motherfucker.
yeah,
If you did, you break out the sweat and grab a
and I'm
towel.
very respectful,
Yeah.
and I'm like, I could just go on, but I don't want to get
Yeah,
deep on
right,
this
no,
thing. You
that's
know
another
what I'm
podcast.
saying?
Yeah, we'll save that.
Yeah. So, but that is interesting. Going back to you. So did you thought you kind of grown into this kind of role, or this
As far as what? Be more.
this persona as far as being serious? Like, how did you learn how to?
Oh, no, me and my dad have the same personality.
Yeah. Okay.
We're both
okay.
quiet people, but we say a lot.
Do you think you learned that from your dad, or do you think
I think
that
that's
was kind of inherently in
I think
you?
it's a genetic thing.
I do
don't know,
too.
because
I do too.
Because I didn't really know him like that. Like, I've been, I can remember being a kid and going to work with my dad and stuff, and he was talkative. Probably how I am when I'm at work around my friends, having a great time. Hear my dad curse at work. I never hear him curse at home. I'm like, what the fuck is going on? Like, it's my dad. And you see him in a whole different way. And even now, like, people say, y'all are very similar. And that's how he is. Like, he'll say stuff around people, if it's a small group of people he knows. And that's how I function. I like small groups, I like intellectual conversation. I don't like big groups of people who are just hanging out to talk about how much they drink that weekend,
Right.
and how much money they make and shit. I hate that shit.
Yeah.
Which is why I hate people in general. But I like small intellectual, like, what are we doing in our life? How was your life? Like, what are you doing recently? What's your goals? Like, what are you doing? Love that conversation.
Right.
And I think that's how he is. But now that he's older, my dad's 73. So I don't get to see him interact as much with people like that. So I do think I got a lot of that from him. But my mom says I'm her baby.
Okay.
Because I do have I'm probably my mom when I'm in here. Because I'm more energetic, mouthy, sarcastic, just
more bringing everybody together.
Yeah.
Instead of disciplinarian, on that level.
Yeah. So but I do think a lot of that's genetic, right? Yeah.
It's got to be both genetic and learned, because you respect your dad because of those reasons, and you kind of picked up on those habits. Maybe even as a kid, you kind of maybe didn't talk much, or still stood with respect. People do gravitate towards you. I've noticed from being at your bodybuilding show. Like, you have this group of people that'll like gravitate towards you, and it's got to be something that it can't just be. It's got to be both, right?
I do think I've had it inside me though. Like, like my job. I don't know. There's a lot of things that affect it, right? Nurture versus nature.
Yeah.
Like
great.
When I got into nursing, couldn't believe I got into nursing. I let my wife talk me into that shit. But I got into that. I remember like my first week at the hospital, and I thought, I got to go in here and talk to a fucking family and a patient about, I don't like talking to people. Like, I'm shy. I'm reserved. I'm not good public speaking. No, I'm not just on the spot. But the more I did it, the more I got into it, and then the more people you meet, and then my own personality jumped into it. Which, like I said, if you probably talk to people from high school, I was the jokester. I had people around me, and people close to me knew me as a smart ass, sarcastic, like always telling jokes, always trying to make people laugh. But if you didn't know me, you probably looked at me like people looking in here at me now were like, he's serious all the time. He don't say it. Because when everybody's around, I kind of shut down and observe. I'm a big observer. I like to watch and learn. I like to learn mannerisms. Somebody can pick on you about later. Anything. Yeah. Like, I like to pick up on people. But I think so. Probably my job had a big influence on who I am today. Yeah. And then my own personality kind of shone through after I got comfortable with people. And then as you get older, you care less about what other people think about you. Because you as a business owner, going back to that, like, you gotta have this face, right? The public face. Yeah. Joe rolls his eyes.
Yes.
No, I get it. But as you get older, you care less about that. Yeah. You care more about, well, this is who I am. People who want to ride with me are going to ride with me. If you don't, then you're over here, but you're not for me. Yeah. And so you're not going to help me grow, though, either. If you're that type of person, I don't need you around me, because you're probably not going to be positive for me. So I've learned, I learned that.
Yeah. Yeah, because one of the things that did burn me this past year was because I found, like, coaching the baseball team or whatever, I felt like I was free in that way because I was talking to men and we all had a common goal. The gym's a different story. We'll save that for off the podcast. But anyways, for baseball, it's everybody in here wants to win. So I'll do what I have to do to ensure that. And sometimes that means me chewing in your ass. And because it's good for not just because I want to do it, because I don't just want to do that. Like I want to invoke something in you,
Right.
because you're not paying attention enough as I think you should, or you're not following the game plan or whatever. And that came back and bit me, and the school or the county, they did an investigation on me, and eventually led to me losing that job.
Right.
So it's like, at what point does it go too far? I'm not saying
Right.
I don't feel like I went too far. I'm 100% happy with how I handled the situation,
Right.
but still,
But
the
that's a person who just took personally what you said. They didn't hear the message you were trying to give them, right? They just heard you're a mean person. You're giving a mean the way you said it or whatever.
or they
They
were
didn't agree
just
with it.
had their own twist of what they were trying to get out of the whole situation
Right.
anyway.
So you had two different ideas about what you were trying to do, what they were trying to do.
Right.
Yeah. I have a tough time with that.
Yeah.
Yeah, you did too, obviously.
Yeah.
But
Yeah. Yeah.
but I'm saying those people aren't for you then.
No,
That probably be the best thing to happen to you then.
right.
You might not think so, but eventually,
Nah.
like that wasn't a job you can grow in.
Right.
It was gonna be positive for you.
Right.
So yeah, I mean,
Right.
lucky you got out of that shit.
Right.
I mean,
Right.
had a great time though, right?
Oh,
Got a championship.
Absolutely. It was a great time.
Yeah, but yeah, I don't know, man. I only know how to talk like I know how to talk. We gotta accept everything else in this fucking world, the way other people are and all this stuff. Why can't you accept my sarcastic, in your face persona, right? I mean, I'm not gonna change because this is what it is.
Right.
But I do. I mean, yeah. When I'm at work, I do a lot of meetings on phones and a lot of conference calls.
Yeah.
I tone it is the thing.
Oh,
like
that's
you know what I'm
a great
saying?
point. That's a great point.
I don't sit there waiting for you to stop talking so I have my turn to talk. I'm listening to what you say.
Right.
But if you want my feedback, if you're asking me a question, I'm giving my honest feedback. People sometimes are like, "Ooh, well, that's my honest feedback."
Right.
And so I'm genuine. Whether it hurts your feelings, it makes you feel great. If you ask me, if you want my opinion, or if you're going to work out with me and want the feedback, then I'm going to be a genuine, honest person.
Right.
I'm not gonna sugarcoat it. Like I said, I try to be very efficient, even my words. So I'm not sitting here giving you a whole, well, this. I'm not giving you the what is it, the compliment sandwich.
Right.
I'm not giving you, well, you did this, but you could have done this better, but you did do this great. No, we're gonna talk about what you fucked up at.
Yeah.
Because what you did great at, you did great at, and I'll tell you, oh, that looked good.
Right.
But what we need to work on is this, and so I think people. I mean, don't you want to be told what you did right, what you did wrong, like genuinely, like.
I think that's probably why the comment is, I don't like people, or people piss me off, is because of the lack of authenticity.
Yeah.
I think that's what it really boils down to, because when you are authentic, and then it goes back to myself, like, you get punished for it, and it's like, what?
Mm-hmm.
So you guys want fake?
Yeah.
Right?
This
is what you want.
Just tell me I'm great.
Yeah. I follow this guy on the internet. He's this Indian dude, and I talk about this tweet all the time. But this guy says, one of the biggest wastes of time is teaching people, because they lack seriousness. He says like 90% of people lack seriousness.
I get that.
And this is, when you're dealing with business or whatever, this is the I don't know, the Chinese finger trap.
Yeah.
That you have to deal with. What do you think about that statement? Do you think?
In all seriousness, yeah.
Yeah.
I think people come in here looking for they think it's going to be easy. Like everything is going to be easy. They're going to come in here, get on a treadmill for 15 minutes, go home, eat a sandwich. That's their day.
But subconsciously, they're in here because they know they can be better.
Yeah.
They know it. That's the reason they're here.
Yeah.
That's the reason they're here.
But they're looking for a way out at the same time.
Well, yeah.
What is that?
I don't know.
That's people who don't give a shit. That's people who just want to coast through. I don't get it.
I don't get it either.
I mean, not even the gym though. What are they passionate about? Because you train a lot of people, right? So those people who you've seen come and go in the gym,
right? Are
they passionate about anything? Are they successful in life? Are they doing? What do they have? Positive that they're working on.
I can tell you, of the group of people I've been with in my life, I can count on two hands. And I've been doing this since 2015, so I've been doing a lot of people. In two hands, I can tell you the people that I'm like, this person is legit.
Mm-hmm.
On two hands.
Yeah. They were passionate about changing their life.
Right, or they were passionate about getting better for whatever endeavor it was in their life that they were preparing for.
And that usually is successful, turns into success for them in other ways in life.
Yes.
Because they're passionate in here.
Yes.
They're going to be passionate about other things.
It's because they
That's what I'm saying. Have you ever seen it the other way, though? Have you ever seen them come in here with all these lofty goals, but they're not passionate about the gym and they just fuck off after 3 weeks?
Oh, for sure.
But is the rest of their life working out? Like,
because they're full of shit.
Are they driving BMWs and successful in life? Right? They're just lazy ass people.
Right.
So it's not working out for them.
No.
And those are the people coming in here today. So yeah, it's not why. It's because that's who that is.
Right.
That's what you got. Yeah, I mean they came in here with goals, but they ain't got any other goals in life.
Right.
Yeah, I mean.
Right.
You know what I mean?
It's almost like it's almost a mindset. You have to have a mindset before you come in here of accomplishment, succeeding, goal oriented.
I'm going to this meeting and murder everybody.
Right.
That's where we go back to that.
Yes.
I mean, if you don't have that mindset that you can be the best, then why are you even in there?
100%.
Right. I mean, general fitness, I get that too. I mean, people should be in here for some general fitness.
Yes.
You're still in Snickers class. They're not winning any meets.
Right.
But they're in here killing it.
Right. Right.
For general fitness type stuff. But they are pushing themselves in their own little, but they know they're not going to compete or do anything. So I'm not saying you have to compete.
Right.
But have a goal.
But there is an intensity to your regiment that should be there.
Intensity is the word.
You know what I mean?
Intensity.
There should be an intensity there that you can feel, whether I'm working for a meet or not. If you see them in here and they're working out with some intensity, then maybe they may not be going for a powerlifting meet or a bodybuilding show, but maybe they're trying to save their marriage. Or maybe they're trying to climb the corporate ladder. So they need this to kind of de-stress or to still have some muscle or whatever this provides for them to still stay healthy, good mindset, accomplishing goals. Maybe hitting the 80s on the dumbbell bench for 5 is a good day for them, right? Whatever. So
mental health is a thing, right?
It is a thing.
I tell those people, everybody, this is my antidepressant.
I tell that to people all the time. Dealing with
going back dealing with you got a lot on your mind, Chris. Get it out, son. Get it out.
At least for them, if they can come in here and de-stress or, I don't know, accomplish something, maybe that'll start a fire.
Right.
Maybe.
Have you seen that recently?
Let's see. I got to think.
Give me somebody. Give me some hope.
Okay. I don't. Because they already have this potential in them, but I've seen somebody come in here and they started to see some progress, and now every time they come in here, they're in a great mood.
Yeah.
Because they've seen some progress.
Well, I got a guy I work with just recently. I saw him in here yesterday because I was off yesterday. Me and Melissa came in here early, and he's been at work telling me for months, I'm getting back in the gym. Well, I seen him in here yesterday. I said, hey, man, you made it back. Oh, man, I've been here for 2 or 3 weeks now. I said, well, how you feeling? I'm sleeping better. I feel better about life. He's like, I knew this would change my life. He said, I just couldn't get back in here. But I'm going to quit making excuses. I'm going to get back in here. I saw him today at work. He's like, man, you don't understand how great. I said, I do understand how great you feel, motherfucker. Like, that's why I'm in there.
Yeah.
Like Justin asked me recently, what does he say? Your goal? What's the question again? What are you most proud of?
Yeah, this year.
And my default answer to that is like, I ain't killing anybody.
Yeah.
Like, that's why I'm in the gym, because it lowers stress. And yeah, everybody should be in here with that. But man, I see it changing people's lives now. And this guy's he's middle aged. Dude, but he's wanting to do better. And he's 2 weeks in and he's feeling better and feel like it's changed his life already.
Right.
Like, that's an amazing thing. Right. What else can you, it costs for a membership here. It's cheaper than any drug you can get.
Right.
Except heroin, I guess. Heroin's pretty fucking cheap.
I don't know, $30 a month is pretty cheap. $30 a month is pretty cheap.
No, it is pretty cheap, man. And it's a lot healthier, I'm sure.
For sure.
Yeah, less dangerous to buy. Yeah, I don't take anything serious, as I said. But man, I love that. I told him when he was telling me that. This is right before I came here. I said, man, you pumping me up. I said, I'm about to go do a podcast. I said, I can't. Shit. I said, I might have to work out before. Like, I don't even know. Like, this makes you like, I get excited now when I see other people feeling that way about being in the gym, because that's my life pretty much.
And a good positive quality person gets excited about other people's success.
Yeah.
I have this group of people in here that comes in at about 1 o'clock, and they're these goth-looking kids.
I know who you're talking about.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and every time they're in here, I get super pumped. I'm like, because I know based off what they said in our conversations, I just know they were in a bad spot before they started coming
Right.
here, and they started coming here and seeing some results, and they're benching 135 and stuff now, and it's like these kids, you see them on this side of the street, and you would never expect them to ever enter a gym.
Right.
And they came in here, and now they come here, 3-4 days a week, whatever it is, but they make it a routine, and they feel better about themselves. And it's obvious. You can just look at them in the eyes, and they look at you back, and they talk with confidence, and they show you. One of the guys is like working on his guitar now. The other guy's trying to go into the military. It's like, bro, come on. This is exactly why you do this. This is exactly why, because it shows you how to be successful in life. I think it shows you exactly how to be successful in life. You want to learn how to make money. You want to learn how to be a nurse. You want to learn how to, I don't know, be successful in the military. Go do something, get better at it, have a plan, have it organized, have consistency, discipline. All those things is how you get better at life. Life is simple. It's not simple, but what it takes to get better is universal.
Right.
It's universal.
And you come in here and you have those good days and you have those bad days and you have those PRs.
Yeah, right.
Make you feel awesome. So yeah, I mean it's a metaphor for life, right? I mean it's the same. Why isn't everybody in the gym?
Well,
we're
trying to get them in here.
Yeah, we're disciples.
We're trying to get them in here. That's why I do the podcast. I want to share other people's experience with the gym, so that people understand of how important it is, because we're such a society that so obese, so fast food oriented, all that stuff.
Yeah.
It's just we're the 25%, not even that.
Yeah,
what percent of people you think go to the gym 3 days a week? What percent of the world?
Less than 5. Yeah.
Yeah.
Fast food. I mean, like, you prep your food. You said.
Yes.
So you have a regimen on that, like
yes.
how many days a week?
Yes.
But so you put like an hour or two into that, maybe twice a week. Yes. You get food for the week.
Right.
How much cheaper is that? How much easier is that? Do you put it in the containers already? You just God.
I know.
My days off, I had food prepped already, and it was just so. I was thinking, like, I forgot about it. I was thinking, what am I gonna make today? And then I opened the fridge. I'm like, oh shit! Pop the top off, put it in the microwave, throw some sauce on it, eat it up.
I got chicken and potato meals in the refrigerator, ready for me to go.
Yeah.
Anytime.
Saves time though.
Anytime I'm hungry.
You don't have to think about it. You save time. Man, why isn't everybody doing it?
Trying to get them on, man. Trying to get them on. Yeah. All right, man. I think this is a good start to our first podcast. It's good spot to end.
Sounds good.
Yes, sir. I enjoyed it.
Appreciate it.
Yeah, I appreciate you coming on. We'll do it again.
It's a pleasure. Yeah, man. For sure.
Good work. Yes, sir.